Hey guys, today I'm gonna be working on the Camaro. I guess when I tried to take my timing cover seal off, I dinged up the metal. I didn't actually even realize until it started leaking. I pulled it back off and realized I had dinged it up. So there's just a little bitty divot in there, but it's enough to make it leak. So I had to get a new one. I looked everywhere for the exact same one and I couldn't find one. I found one that was pretty close, but I'm gonna show you the difference here. So here's the two timing seals. You can stay out of the light. Timing covers. This is the one that I dinged up. You can see right here where my pinky is. There's just a little bitty nick in it, and that's enough to make it leak. So now if you look right here, you can see there's a bolt hole right here by my thumb. That's for the oil pan hole, and then you see there's a tiny little hole beside it, and then all these little holes that go down it. Well, this one doesn't have it, and those are kind of important because they hold the gasket in place. Let me show you that. Alright, you can see here's the gasket, and it's got these little nipples on it. Those nipples fit into that hole to keep it from sliding. Okay, so what happened was whenever I put this one on without the nipples, it just blew the gasket out. So that's not going to work. So now what we're going to do is go inside. We're going to mark these holes, try to mark them as close as possible. And I'm going to drill out the holes now. I don't know if you can tell, but this one's actually threaded. And I'm not going to be able to thread this metal because it's too thin. So I'm just going to put a nut on the top side of it to hold the bolt down. If I could find another timing cover that's actually made like this, I will absolutely buy it. The only other difference with this is there's no timing tab on the top. So that little tab right there is missing, which is how you time the motor. So if I can find an original one, I'll definitely buy it, but for now I just want to get my car back together, so this is going to have to do. Alright guys, well, luckily these are stacked exactly on top of each other. My little screwdriver's holding it up. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball where it's supposed to be while my dog knocks everything over. Okay, if one of those marks is off, then we're screwed. Well guys, I'm done drilling. This hole right here is off by just a hair, which is messing up my gasket, but I think it'll work. My puppy's definitely glad that I'm done drilling. So these all line up perfectly until I put in this one, which is off by just a hair, and you can see, I mean, it's literally just a hair off. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not worried about getting the length over here, so I'm going to start on this side. That way it's not pulling against it, and then we'll worry about the pull when we get into this area. I want to get a really good seal right here, so we're just going to start right there. This is just a high temp silicone is all it is, and usually I don't use much, but since this is the third time I've done it, I'm going to kind of cake this on there and give it my best chance at a seal. This corner I'm just going to sit here and hold in place for probably like 20 minutes, seriously. So alright, so I'm going to take my gasket. The hole's covered up, but you see the nipple. Just going to go right through that hole right there. And then I'm going to put this one in this hole right here. And now that hole is not going to be there for that bolt. Actually, I was smart enough to bring a bolt, dummy, I forgot. Ooh yeah. Hey, that's a good idea. Who came up with that? Alright, well since I have that going, I'm gonna go ahead and silicone the rest of it, and I'll just bolt on the other side also. I know I'm using ridiculously way too much of this, but like I said, guys, I'm desperate for it to work. So you'll see this little corner piece. This will go to my oil pan side, but it goes under. So let's put these in the holes. in the hole, in the hole. Oof. Oof, I don't like that right there. Where's my towel? Alright, well, really, I was worried about this corner sealing, and you can kind of see that it's not, even with the bolt on there, you can see it's not sealing there and it's not sealing there. And that's all just because I missed this hole by just a smidgen. But that's okay. I've got a podcast going. I'm just gonna sit here and hold these in place, and once this kind of dries to it, then I know I can get a good seal from my oil pan to this gasket, as long as I can get a good seal underneath this gasket. So alright guys, so you can see the bottom part of that seal is that pan. There's the rest of my seal. I'm just gonna reuse it. I think it should be fine. Unfortunately though, I have to drop this whole pan because the little black piece goes up under between the block and the pan right here, and if I just try to loosen it and snug it up in there, it's not gonna work. So I'm gonna have to drop the whole pan, clean up all the old material, and then I've got brand new gaskets for this. Alright guys, maybe y'all can see a little better. The gasket didn't perfectly seal right there. You can actually see all the way through it, but once I tighten the pan against it, I think it'll be okay. There's also another little spot right there, but it'll be alright. I'm going to leave these bolts in there just to help hold it in place, because I'm not going to put the oil pan on right now, I don't think, so. Well, it's awfully annoying when my camera stops and I don't notice. But I love you guys, I'm not taking this thing back off. I put a fat bead of silicone all the way around it. Like I said, more than I would normally use. I just coated it on there. Luckily, this exact timing cover's already been on this block, on that gasket itself. I just cleaned off the gasket that I used, so it's already got the same indentions as this pan already. I don't know if the indentions were the same, but anyway, that'll help it seat. I got 2 bolts in there right now. I'm just gonna put the rest of them in there real quick and run them all down. Whenever I get home tonight, I'm gonna put the oil pan gasket on. Come on, puppy, your day's gotta go to work. I need the tarp to cover the motor. Alright guys, I'm back from work. Time to get started back on the Camaro. And lay the tarp down for the puppy. Hey, did I put the tarp down for you? Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and lay my gaskets. Some vehicles are a lot easier, and it's actually just one piece gasket that goes all the way around, and boy, that's a real blessing. But for mine, there's 4 separate pieces. So this piece here, this piece here, this piece is still on the motor, and then that's the piece that we held onto the timing cover. So I'm just gonna set this gear gasket in place. My dog's laying on the tarp and I'm rolling around in the dang mud. Anyway, my gasket back here is good, and I've already cleaned off all of this surface here. My gasket still looks good on my timing cover, so I'm just going to put a small bead up here on the block where that gasket's going to seat to that we just put on. We'll put a small bead right here and a small bead around the back. Unfortunately, I can't show y'all that because this motor weighs 600 pounds with the transmission on it, and It's hanging from a rope, so you just have to believe me. Alright guys, well, this morning I wasn't able to film the end of this video, so I want to finish it up. I drove my boy's truck home. Look at that. Oh, Drew, nice truck. I wish you could have something that nice. Watch this video. Sorry bro, I had to. But to be honest, I always say that I don't want a new vehicle, and I never do. But every time I drive that truck, I'm like, damn, am I really doing things right? Anyway, alright, let me show you guys the motor. Unveil yourself. Okay, got everything bolted up except these corner 2 bolt holes. I thought I had it lined up perfectly. This one, you can see, I mean, it's there. I could get a longer bolt and get through that one. This one right here, I missed by like 1/4 of a bolt. So I could try to waller it out and get a bolt in there and all that. I don't really know. I think I'm just gonna wire tie it. Just tie it really tight with the wire tie and leave it alone, because I don't want to make the gasket worse, and it's my motor, I don't really care, you know. Here's the gap between right here, and it's sealed all the way, but that's how tight it's supposed to be, and that's how loose it is over here. And I can, if I was stronger with my fingers, I could push that down. So I know that there's still more there. I'm gonna try to put oil in it and see if it holds. If it doesn't hold, I'm literally just gonna run a self-tapping screw through here, and you'll find a lot of inline 6 Chevrolets that are that way because of this thing. So I didn't know there's another ridge on my other timing cover. It's like double metal right here, and I didn't know why. Well, it's the rigidity to help it keep from bowing up. So hopefully it's done. This motor should be going in the next 2 weeks. So everything's done except my U-joints. All I have to do is fill that up, make sure it holds oil. If it doesn't, I'm going to put a self-tapping screw in there. Alright, the Camaro's over here. The motor's over here. So I've got to push the car back up this hill and then get the motor lined up ready to drop in. But, so I'm going to have to get some help on that. So it might be a week or 2, but this motor is ready to go. So the car will return very soon. You guys stick around for that. I appreciate y'all watching, and I hope that you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next video. Hopefully it'll be tomorrow.